It's the SKOR North Twin Show.
Are we going a cappella on the SKOR North Twin Show intro right there?
We might be.
We were going a cappella. Welcome to the SKOR North Twin Show. That was hilarious. We're in the studio here. What's going on, everybody? Declan Goff, AJ Fredrickson. I made the mistake, technical speak here, that I'm going to guess 99.9% of our audience doesn't understand. I don't think I had the speaker function on because I'm using a different laptop. Remember, you have to mute the microphone and the computer. Whole thing. So you just got a great little silent intro into today's Extra Innings episode. What's going on? Hit the like button, subscribe button for SKOR North Extra Innings.
Do you want to try to do like an acapella, like a pitch perfect, like?
You're listening
to the SKOR North Twin Show.
There you go.
All right.
Twins lose the series. SKOR North Twin Show loses their intro. Doesn't matter. It's contagious here today. Appreciate everyone listening and watching. I know we haven't done an Extra Innings episode in a while. I took the weekend off against those White Sox. Obviously, the Twins took care of business there. We will have some Extra Innings episodes this weekend. None on Saturday, but we will have likely some on Friday and some on Sunday with the big series coming up against the Cleveland Guardians. But on what has just happened in Wrigley Field front today, Twins dropped this series to the Cubs. They lose 8-2, but probably the bigger headline is they lost Joe Ryan after just 2 innings of work, who motioned to the training staff. He looked visibly upset. Turns out he left with right tricep tightness. I mean, I'm guessing in terms of when I hear arm injuries, I think the scariest one is elbow, right? Like anything in the elbow, that's number one scary. Mm-hmm. Number 2 would be shoulder. Anything shoulder related would third, or second would be that. And then probably bicep third. I mean, I'm just counting the elbow and forearm as one, by the way. I'm going to count that as one piece.
Okay.
So, tricep, not as a worry, but definitely still a concern because the Twins, I don't know if you heard about this, did not acquire a starter at the deadline. They're going to have to start Louis Varland in Game 2 of the doubleheader against the Guards on Friday. I think any stretch here, without Joe Ryan involved in the Twins starting rotation, that is a significant gut punch to the Twins' plans of catching the Guards in the AL Central.
Yeah, and for anybody out there who is, like me, not a doctor and also is having a mental lapse on where exactly a tricep is, it's essentially this kind of back of your arm.
Yeah, it's right here. Right?
So if you think about when you're coming through, I mean, you use it, you need it. But to your point, is it the highest danger of a part? It's on the arm of a pitcher. That's never great. But we'll have to figure out just how severe this kind of stuff is. But I mean, for a team that Declan, like you said, didn't make any sort of starting pitching addition at the trade deadline, something that I think you, Judd, Phil, me, the Twins fan base were clamoring for. Heck, guys in the clubhouse were clamoring for, and they just kind of don't worry about it. We've got all the pieces here. This, if it's bad news, it is a big blow to this ball club. A team that, I mean, you could look at it one way that they're kind of on the heels of the Cleveland Guardians, but at the same time, they have to have their eyes on the rearview mirror because without winning the division, that wild card with it being expanded now, so many teams are in the mix. So many teams felt at the deadline they didn't need to make a move in terms of selling. They could buy, and because they're in that conversation, so many teams are right around that competitive. They can get into that bubble. They're on the fringe. The Twins are in a weird kind of no man's land where they're not safe, but they're also not necessarily in danger. But an injury like this, losing Joe Ryan and only having really one major arm to rely on in Lopez when he's on, that is getting the panic button out and saying, okay, we're going to have to really, as much as this team has tread water, you can't tread water at this point in the season this late when you really need to start winning baseball games and closing any sort of gap to get you ready for October.
Yeah, and the Guards are actually playing a Game 2 of a doubleheader against the Diamondbacks. They dropped Game 1. The Twins were able to make this a 3.5 game distance between themselves and Cleveland. That's the closest the Twins have been to first place since mid-May. So 80 days. The Twins have been basically looking at about a 5, 6, 7 game gap between them and the Guards, and now they had a chance here to potentially make this just like a 1 or 2 game series gap with Cleveland coming here for 4 games. And you basically being the Twins in control of retaking the AL Central by the end of the weekend. We'll see what happens now in Game 2 against Cleveland and Arizona, but a missed opportunity series too. Not even the fact of them losing Joe Ryan, which is definitely going to be a big blow to them. We'll see what the reports are post game, and we'll see what the fallout is after that. But I think another big thing here is after Monday's win, you move 3.5 games back. You're looking ahead to Cleveland and trying not to get you're ahead of yourself too much against the Chicago Cubs. But now here they are. The series ends. You lost the next 2 games, and you're 4 games back with, potentially 4 games in hand to play against Cleveland, but a missed opportunity to probably take back the Central. Because even a sweep is going to be the only way, basically, the Twins can catch the Guards by the end of the weekend.
Yeah, first off, apologies to anybody listening. I know we had a little technical difficulties. Declan, I know we couldn't hear it, but it sounds like the intro music has been playing up until about a minute ago when I stopped.
Oh, really?
It. So apologies to anybody that powered through that.
I see that now. LOL. Okay, got it.
But we're all good now. Thank you for people in the live chat letting us know about that. To your point, though, Declan, you needed some game, more than one game, I think, against the Cubs. And it's unfortunate that Cleveland just continues to fight and just be frankly, I don't believe in them still, but they're making me eat my words, which I hate, but they just don't seem like a team that should be able to keep doing what they're doing. If they would have gotten even just one more game off the Cubs, that puts them in such a better position for this really important stretch of games where you have 4 in a row against the Guardians at home, and then you host the Royals for 3. I mean, that's very tough opponents in division opponents, to where if you could have gotten over those 7 games, even 4, I mean, you are not just knocking on the door, but you're making them sweat here for that final real home stretch of you're going on the road a couple times, but you're back at home for a good majority. And it would have really made it a much better driver's seat position, even though they still technically would have been in second place. But now you just a game or two, it makes that gap seem bigger than it probably is. Mm-hmm. And I know you could spin this where if they have a better start, I mean, if you look at it, they are, what is it, like 6 or something games, like 6 wins off having one of the best, if not the best record in baseball. Yeah. But the problem is, like, we've seen now this team, they start kind of slow. They have injuries. Now you're at a position where things had finally start clicked, and now it's an iceberg for the Titanic. Joe Ryan, who knows how this tricep injury is going to affect him, how long it sidelines him. You can only steer the ship out of the way so quickly, and that's where this is going to be a real kind of nail biter, where we are waiting for more information on that. I know they would have liked to get probably a better showing from Trevor Richards today.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
We'll get to that at some point, because that was I don't know. It was like a beautiful disaster. Like, you couldn't look away, but it does pain you to watch. But yeah, this is going to be a very important 7-game stretch for the Twins. They're at home, which is nice. Target Field. I mean, it's one thing to have the White Sox there and be able to beat up on them for 3-4 games in a row, but now you have the Guardians and you have the Royals, and this is going to start feeling like playoff baseball. It should, at least, and this is where you're going to need everybody like coming to the plate, good at bats. You cannot be committing, kind of lackadaisical errors, settling under pop-ups in the outfield where you can't get a running start or a crow hop to make sure somebody doesn't go first to second to try to like get a better position base running on you. You have to be bringing your A game every single pitch, and that's where these next 7 games really come into play.
Trevor Richards. So he looked okay in his first appearance with the Twins, and today might have been legitimately, and I feel bad, but legitimately one of the worst pitching performances I have ever seen in my entire life. He has to come in cold. Yes, he has to still warm up, and he gets a little more extra warm-up pitches because of the situation of Ryan leaving. Yeah. But he throws 41 pitches. He gets 2 outs. He allows 1 hit, allows 3 runs, walked 5, a couple wild pitches. I tweeted this out. That was the bodies, and Twins fans know who I'm going to reference here. Those were the demons of like Jesse Crane at his worst, Juan Rincon at his worst. I'll even throw Emilio Pagan, a recent Twins reliever, at his worst. And they possessed the spirit of Trevor Richards. That was brutal. And after that, basically the Twins had no shot of winning this game. Cole Sands came in and finally allowed some runs after a nice little run there. And it just became a bullpen game to get them to the end of this. So Twins unfortunately had to turn to their bullpen early after losing Joe Ryan. And I don't know. I saw tweets about this too. It is kind of a little poetic, the fact the Twins don't get a starter. They potentially just lost their starter to a long-term injury. And then the only guy they did it at the deadline puked all over himself on the mound, which was too bad. So, yeah, Trevor Richards, seen better days, and just now a lightning rod, like with a pitchfork of Trevor Richards' body to like one Twins way for Twins fans that are just completely upset that they didn't do more at the deadline.
For a guy that, from my understanding, he really only has the fastball and the changeup. So when you have two pitches that are in your arsenal and your changeup is off, I mean, there's not a lot you can do on the mound. Like, if they know you're throwing your fastball every single time, you can only beat them with location, as much as you can. And I don't think Trevor Richards is necessarily a elite middle reliever or a Mariano Rivera out on the mound, as we saw. I mean, he missed the zone. He couldn't get through the inning. 41 pitches. I mean, if you woke up from a nap, and let's say you woke up from a nap middle of the game and you're like, oh, okay, well, Richards, weird. I thought Joe Ryan was starting, but hey, it's Trevor Richards, blah, blah, blah. He's got 41 in the third. He's just starting to lose it. It's fine. And then you open up your phone, the old Twitter app, the old MLB.com, you see the box score. What an abysmal.
What app?
I mean,
what happened?
It's just great meme. It's just bad.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way to get around the bush there. It is just a bad performance. Does Rocco, is it on him a little bit for not getting him out of there sooner and recognizing? I mean, it was such a small sample size. Like, you'd hope that a guy can come in and just get out of this inning and just do a little bit of safety work. But even when I think he was up 0-2 on or 1-2 on Nico Horner at one point.
Yeah.
And then I will say, I said this to you while we were watching it. It was a really good at bat for Nico Horner. He just kept fouling them off. But that changeup, he almost got him. I think he fouled one off into the dirt, and then it was just up out of the zone, outside of the zone, and then there was really nothing. That was like the one chance to get out of the inning. He just couldn't find the zone with a fastball. I mean, it was abysmal. This was a terrible appearance.
Yeah, I mean, Trevor Richards was going to wear that regardless.
Yeah.
I understand Twins fans being upset with Rocco for not having a backup plan, but like when your starter goes down like that and you have to throw a guy literally on the mound, the plan right there is he's going to have to wear it. Could he have gotten out of him? Could he have pulled him at 25 or 30 pitches? I guess maybe, but at that point, just wear it. And I don't blame Rocco there for that. Looking ahead to Cleveland, Byron Buxton was out of all three of these games. He was day-to-day with that back injury. Rocco alluded on Tuesday in pregame that the plan was to have him ready for Friday's game. He was available as a pinch runner or pinch hitter situation, apparently for yesterday and today's game. Probably a good idea to rest up. I know he hasn't played since Sunday after crashing into the wall and then being removed from it from there. But to be honest, I'm not saying that these two games didn't matter because we just talked about why they were missed opportunities for them. But if they can have a healthy or healthier Byron Buxton for the 4 games against Cleveland, they're going to absolutely need him, at least in 3 of those games, if not all 4. So we'll knock on wood. We'll see what happens with Byron Buxton. But with Cleveland coming to town, you're going to need your star center fielder there. All due respect to Austin Martin and the Manuel Margot's and Willie Castros, who can try to hold down that position. We'll see what they get from Byron Buxton, and hopefully he is in the lineup for at least game 1 at 1 o'clock, 1 and 7 o'clock for the split doubleheader on Friday with the Guards.
Yeah, I mean, he just brings so much to the lineup. I mean, when it comes to the defense, you saw him running into the wall the other day to make a play. He just covers so much out there that it's tough to pretty much balls like to the gap. Seem like it's a 50-50 for most guys. On what should be a stand-up double, he makes it a risky thought to even think about rounding hard and going to second base. And he's been getting the job done at the plate. I know sometimes he does have those small stretches where it's just, he kind of clogs up the lineup, even though he is in the top 3-4 hitters. But for the most part, when you look at the over top view of it, he's having an above average year for himself. And he's right now batting .276. he's just kind of been the Byron Buxton that I think we saw in what Twins fans saw. I want to say it was like April of 21.
Yeah, when he got off to a monster
where
start,
where he looked like one of, if not the best players in baseball. Just he could do everything, 5 to a player. It's obviously regressed, and that was one of the hottest stretches I think we've seen in his career, but he has been playing really good baseball here in 2024. So whenever he is in the lineup, he just brings so much, and it's another one of those big names where pitchers have to really think about how to approach it, because it's not just that at bat, it's the batters leading up. How do I want to attack the guy ahead of him? Buxton's right behind. Like, I know I have a base open, but he's going to do damage type of thing. So a healthy Byron Buxton here for these next 4 to 7 games is going to be something that the Twins just really need.
Hit the like button, subscribe button. This is SKOR North Extra Innings. A big weekend series coming up against the Cleveland Guardians. For any of the Guards fans or anyone watching this, appreciate you guys. Twins fans, obviously. I know you guys have been here all season. Love that for us. We'll have some extra innings content. I'll probably actually be at the ballpark just for all day on Friday morning and into the evening. So we'll have extra innings content on Friday. No extra innings content, at least from me, on Saturday. I have another of my bajillion weddings to get to, so I will be out of town up north on Saturday, but I will be back on Sunday for the series finale. So you can expect plenty of extra innings content. I know I've gotten a couple notes over the last week. Where the hell has the extra innings content been? Got plenty coming at you this weekend. Plus, we've had great episodes of Trevor Plouffe. Go check that out. That was on Tuesday. We'll have a Twins episode tomorrow, obviously, a random Twin of the week. So plenty of great content here. Appreciate everyone listening and watching. For AJ, I'm Declan. Sorry about the audio for the first 5 minutes. Appreciate you guys powering through. We weren't the only ones losing series, okay? The Twins weren't the only ones losing series, so we're the SKOR North Twin show here.
I saw somebody in the comments say that we brought a similar high A level effort that the Twins did today.
Yeah. Our VP, Dan Seaman, literally just said, Declan, what's your title again, about an hour ago? And I said, executive producer. So I definitely have earned that in the first 5 minutes of this show. So appreciate you guys. We'll be talking at you soon.